No working on the boat today. It looks like the rainstorms are gonna give me enough of a break where I can finally get this paint on the wood here. I've already unclamped it, as you can see, and removed all the bolts I had holding it together while the construction adhesive was drying. And I've also drilled out all the holes again to clean them out from any excess glue. I sanded it, just went ahead and did one final sanding, clean up all the edges. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and try and get some paint on here before the rainstorms come back, and hopefully it'll dry before then, or at least dry enough where I can move it inside to let the one side dry a little bit more before coming back out and painting the other side, hopefully. Okay, first coat of paint is on, and while it's drying, I'm going to try to keep myself busy. Hopefully it'll dry before the rain moves back in. But for now, I'm going to scuff the transom and the splash well and prep it for paint. Hopefully I can paint it tomorrow. I'm also going to drill out these rivets and remove these plastic grommets. I'm keeping the splash well and the transom both white. Going to go with the same shade of white that I used on the sides, the Rust-Oleum industrial enamel. Of course, this is safety yellow, and that's just, I think it was just bright white or something. But I am going to also, after this transom part's done, I'm going to go through and remove all the cleats, all these little snap fasteners, the steps, which these will go back on, but may even remove the windshield frame, and then get this whole top part scuffed and painted, painting that white also. But for now, let's just concentrate on this transom. Alright, I went ahead and removed those plastic grommets, as well as the little snap fasteners that were across the top of the splash well. And I also took a little bit of soapy water, just Dawn dishwashing liquid, and a little 3M scuff pad, and used that to scuff and smooth out this surface of the splash well, as well as the outside of the transom. I'm not going to be able to paint it today, but at least tomorrow morning, if the weather holds out like they're promising, I'll be able to just do a minor little cleanup. Any dust and residue that gets on it, just clean that off and get the white painted, because I'm painting the splash well white, as well as the outside of the transom. Then after I do that, I can hopefully get 2 more coats of that gray on the wood. I'm just anxious to get this transom finished up. Wanting to see how the Johnson 115 is going to mount up here, and I also have this swim platform. It's a new used swim platform. It was on a brand new boat, but it was never used because the people that purchased the boat wanted something a bit fancier. So little shop that I went into, the dealership had this sitting there, and it looked like the angle on it and everything would match up perfect with the transom of the Starcraft. I bought it, brought it home, tested it out, and it's a perfect fit. It was meant to be. But it actually came off of a brand new Tidewater skiff. And I don't know how good it's going to look having, you know, newer style swim platform on a classic looking boat, but it was cheap enough and it's pretty much all about function on that one. So I guess we'll take some more video tomorrow, hopefully get all this paint knocked out. Alright, it's tomorrow. As you can see, it is beautiful like the weatherman promised. But unfortunately today, you know, we've got the transom with the all the tools and stuff sitting under it, just covered in a tarp on the front porch, since we're getting right back to work today. But wouldn't you know it, that Google Street View decides to drive by today. So they're going to get to see all this on our front porch, all the Jeep parts and outboard motors, and also the sailboat, as well as the trailer sitting here. I wish they would call ahead first, but oh well, what are you going to do? We got to get this boat in the water. That's more important than an image on the computer. I figured I'd go ahead and show you all the funnest part of the whole thing, watching paint dry. Just waiting for the gray to dry on the wood so we can get another coat on the other side. And we've already painted the transom on the boat with one coat, as well as the splash well. Just waiting for it to dry. Splash well and transom should be dry in about another 30 minutes. The wood should be dry in maybe an hour. But I know we'll get another coat of white on the splash well and transom. I'm not sure about getting that gray done today. And of course they're calling for rain again tonight. And we're back to work on painting and everything today. But before we get started putting any more coats of paint on this wood for the transom, we're going to go ahead and cut out our replacement piece for the outside of the transom. Isn't that right, Samantha? Yes. And we've already cut the board to the basic size we need. Now we're just going to mark off the angles and round off the edges, and then of course drill out all the holes. Then when we paint this, we can hit this and this wood here all at the same time, and, you know, we'll have less cleanups to do. Okay, I've got the angles cut. Now I just have to use the jigsaw and cut these nice curves, you know, round off the edges. It doesn't have to be exact curve that this is. So what I did was just took the PVC glue can that I've got and just set it right in the corner and traced around that, and that, you know, gives me a fairly clean curve. It's within an 1/8 inch of what I traced out of the old one. So you can see it over here just by itself. So I'm going to cut that with a jigsaw, and then we'll set the old one back on top of it and drill through these holes and make our new holes. Okay, I cut the curves on the corners. I ended up running the belt sander around it just a little to smooth it out. I'm not the best in the world with a jigsaw, but I think they came out pretty good. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to clamp the two pieces together so I can just drill right through the existing holes on the old board to make the new holes on this board. Then we can get it painted. All the holes are drilled. I lightly sanded the board. I also test fitted on the back of the boat and make sure all the holes did line up, and set it on the other piece of wood that's for the transom for the inside. All the holes lined up with everything. Now we're ready for paint. Now for the exciting part of watching paint dry again. Well, at least this is the final coat for this part of the transom on this side. Once it's dry enough, I'll turn it over, do the final coat on the other side. Then it's just a matter of finishing up several coats on that piece over there, the one that I just cut out. Hopefully it'll dry quick. Wish the sun was out. Okay, the wood for the transom is finally complete, other than installation. We are going to hold off on installing it for a little while. We're going to knock out some other things before we get to this, because I know we're going to flip the boat over, paint the bottom, do the floor, the dash, everything else. And when we start putting the floor back in and other things, that's when the transom will go in. I know I said I was going to complete the transom first, but it's just going to work out easier this way. As you can see, it was definitely due for replacement. That board was not that bad. That's still pretty solid. And here's all the new wood. And of course, no, we did not use any kind of epoxy resin or fiberglass or anything else. We just used just standard exterior grade plywood, the Loctite PL Premium construction adhesive to glue the two pieces together, and then completely coated it in, I think we're at four or five coats of Rust-Oleum industrial enamel. Of course, this is smoke gray, and what's on the boat is their bright white and safety yellow. I know a lot of people are going to fuss about why didn't we go ahead and use epoxy or fiberglass it. Well, it's because we didn't want to. We wanted to try and do this on a tight budget and also kind of do a durability test and find out, you know, how long will it last. We'll do periodic updates from time to time to show you how it's working out. If it lasts 10 years with no problems, I'm going to be really happy. If not, then we'll pull it out. I've got the template to cut new ones. It won't be that difficult. And then we'll either, you know, fiberglass it or just put the epoxy resin, or we may just go get some aluminum plate and have it milled down to size. That would be expensive, but that would be permanent. Just like on the floor, we're also going to use just exterior grade plywood, and we are going to go with the same smoke gray Rust-Oleum industrial enamel. And if that doesn't hold up, we are definitely going to aluminum sheeting on the floor. But before the transom gets installed, we are going to go ahead and pull this floor out, pull the side panels off, steering wheel, windshield, all the hardware off the top, the cleats, these unused snap fasteners, the step pads, everything off the front, the horn, vent, this blue and red bow light, which we got to figure out how to make that green. I don't think they'd be too happy these days with a blue and red light on the front of a boat. But that'll be another video. See if I can squeeze through between my Jeep and the boat. Didn't leave enough room. So there's the boat right now, and I just wanted to finish up, you know, in this video with just showing that the transom is done. I will videotape removing all the other stuff on the next videos, and then as it starts coming back together, you'll just have to look for the video probably titled Transom Installation. But I'm very happy with it so far. Now let's get back to work, and thanks for watching.